There's something incredibly frustrating about waking up in the middle of the night, toes curling, calf tightening, and pain shooting through the leg like a jolt of electricity. Foot cramps, especially at night, are something many seniors silently endure. But here's what most people don't know. There's a simple, safe, and surprisingly fast trick that can stop a foot cramp almost instantly. No pills, no gadgets, just one little move that most doctors never take the time to share, perhaps because it seems too simple to be real. But for older adults, especially those over 60, this tiny trick can mean the difference between a restless night and a peaceful, uninterrupted sleep. And today, that secret is being shared not just because it works, but because it belongs in the hands of those who need it most, people who've spent a lifetime taking care of others and now deserve comfort themselves. In this reading, we'll explore why these cramps happen more often with age, what really causes them, and exactly how to stop them fast when they strike. Along the way, you'll discover powerful, natural ways to prevent them for good, backed by stories from real Americans and supported by research and expert insight. Think of this not as a lecture, but as a calm conversation with someone who truly cares about your well-being. Now, before we dive in, I'd love to know, where are you watching from today? Leave a comment below and share your city or state. It's always wonderful to see how far this message travels. And just a gentle reminder, the information in this article is for educational purposes only. Please consult your physician before making any changes. Everyone's health is unique, and your doctor knows what's best for your personal needs. Foot cramps are more than just a nuisance. For many older adults, they're a nightly interruption, pulling them from sleep, tensing the entire body, and sometimes leaving soreness that lingers for hours. But why do these cramps become so common after age 60? And why do so many seniors blame themselves, thinking it's something they've done wrong? The truth is, foot cramps in older adults are often the result of changes that naturally happen in the body with age. Not failure, not laziness, and certainly not because someone's too old to move. These cramps are common, understandable, and, most importantly, manageable. One of the most common causes of nighttime foot cramps in older adults is muscle loss, or what doctors call sarcopenia. After age 50, the body gradually begins to lose muscle mass, even in people who stay active. This means the small muscles in the feet and lower legs don't function as smoothly or recover as quickly from daily wear and tear. They're more prone to fatigue, and when tired muscles contract too suddenly, they cramp. Another factor is circulation. As people age, their blood vessels naturally become less elastic. This can lead to reduced blood flow, especially to the extremities like the feet and toes. Poor circulation means less oxygen gets to the muscles, and muscles without oxygen are more likely to cramp. For seniors who sit for long periods or have conditions like diabetes or peripheral artery disease, this problem can be even worse. But there's more. Dehydration plays a huge role and often sneaks up without warning. Many older adults drink less water, either to avoid nighttime bathroom trips or simply because their sense of thirst has diminished with age. What they don't realize is that even mild dehydration can throw off the body's balance of electrolytes like magnesium, potassium, and calcium, minerals that help muscles relax. Without these, the muscles in the feet can spasm and tighten in painful cramps. Let's not forget about medications. Many seniors are on multiple prescriptions for blood pressure, cholesterol, heart rhythm, or mood. Some of these drugs, especially diuretics or statins, can deplete electrolytes or affect nerve signals in ways that increase the chance of cramping. Yet, doctors often don't mention this side effect during quick checkups. And then there's posture and alignment. As people age, changes in gait, footwear choices, and even spinal health can shift the way pressure is distributed through the feet. Poor foot support, whether from worn-out shoes, flat slippers, or walking barefoot, can cause tiny muscles in the feet to overcompensate, leading to tension that builds up by night. For seniors who stay active, like those who enjoy gardening, long walks, or playing with grandkids, overuse can also be a factor. A day of activity might feel good in the moment, but if muscles haven't been properly stretched or supported, They may rebel later that night with a sudden cramp. It's not about doing too much. It's about knowing how to prepare and recover. There's also the quiet toll of stress. Believe it or not, emotional tension often manifests physically. When a person is anxious, the body tightens up, even the legs and feet. Seniors dealing with loneliness, grief, or worries about their health may unknowingly carry that tension into bed, where it can surface in the form of painful cramps. Here's the point. Foot cramps after 60 are not a sign of failure. They are not punishment. They're simply signals, gentle warnings from a body that has carried someone through decades of life. And the good news? These signals can be listened to, understood, and gently calmed. Take the story of Tom, a retired firefighter from Ohio. At 68, he started waking up almost nightly with toe cramps that made him shout in pain. "I thought I was just getting old," he said. But after speaking with a physical therapist, Tom realized his water intake had dropped significantly since retirement. He also wasn't stretching after his morning walks. Once he added more magnesium-rich foods to his meals and began a 5-minute nightly stretch routine, the cramps all but vanished. Or consider Ruth, a 73-year-old grandmother from Texas. She had foot cramps every evening around 9 p.m. Her doctor discovered her blood pressure medication was draining her potassium levels. With a slight adjustment to her prescription and a daily banana, she hasn't had a cramp in months. These aren't isolated cases. They're reminders that the body is incredibly wise. It gives clues, even if those clues arrive as cramps in the night. And while aging brings change, it also brings knowledge, power, and choice. By learning what's behind these cramps, seniors can reclaim restful nights and pain-free mornings. In the next part, we'll look at the single most effective trick to stop a foot cramp the moment it strikes. It's quick, safe, and surprisingly simple. And best of all, it's something you can do without leaving your bed. It usually begins with a twitch, a little pull in the arch of the foot or the calf. And suddenly, bam, it hits. A full-blown cramp. Like a vice clamping down, the pain takes over. It doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. Once that muscle locks up, sleep is over. For millions of older Americans, this is the reality of nighttime foot cramps. But what if there was a way to stop it right from bed in just seconds? Not with pills, not with creams, but with one secret trick that most doctors never mention. This trick isn't new. In fact, it's been quietly used by physical therapists, dancers, and even long-distance truck drivers for years. And it's so simple that anyone can do it, even from under the covers. The secret? Activating the opposite muscle. Let's break that down. A foot cramp happens when a muscle contracts and won't relax. The most common culprits are the calf muscles and the muscles in the arch of the foot. These muscles are responsible for pointing the toes downward, a motion known as plantar flexion. But here's the key. The body is built with opposing muscle groups. For every muscle that pulls in one direction, there's another that pulls the opposite way. In this case, the muscles in the front of the shin, called the tibialis anterior, pull the toes upward, a motion called dorsiflexion. When these muscles engage, the cramping muscles on the bottom naturally release. It's a built-in switch, and when used correctly, it can turn off a cramp in just seconds. Here's how to do it. The moment a cramp begins, sit up if possible and gently pull the toes of the affected foot upward, toward the knee. Not with force, but with firm, steady pressure. If reaching the foot is difficult, loop a towel or the edge of a bedsheet under the ball of the foot and use that to pull. What you're doing is activating the opposite muscle group to interrupt the cramp signal. Many seniors report feeling the cramp melt away within 5 to 15 seconds. If you prefer staying completely in bed, here's another trick. Press the heel of the cramped foot into the mattress while trying to lift the toes upward. This engages the shin muscles and again, quiets the overactive cramping muscles. It may feel strange at first, but it works. This simple technique doesn't just stop a cramp. It gives a person a sense of control. That moment of helpless pain suddenly becomes manageable. No more jumping out of bed or pacing the room in agony. Just a calm, reliable method that can be used anytime, anywhere. For older adults who struggle with flexibility or arthritis, Modifying the technique is perfectly fine. Even a small movement toward lifting the toes can trigger the brain to release the cramp. Over time, the body gets better at responding. It's like teaching an old reflex a new trick. Take the case of Henry, a retired veteran from Ohio. At 68, he thought foot cramps were just part of getting old. He dreaded the sharp stab that would hit around 3 a.m. at least twice a week. But after learning this technique from a physical therapist during a VA checkup, everything changed. The next time a cramp struck, Henry reached for the towel he'd left beside his bed. In less than 10 seconds, the pain vanished. He told his wife, "It felt like I'd found a magic switch." And in a way, it is a switch. It works because it uses the body's natural wiring. No side effects, no pills, just the right signal at the right time. Of course, this technique doesn't prevent cramps. It stops them in the moment. But for anyone who has ever felt helpless in the dark, clutching a leg or foot in pain, that momentary relief can feel like a lifeline. And the more it's practiced, the easier it gets. Some seniors even make it part of their bedtime routine. A few gentle ankle movements, a stretch or two, maybe keeping a towel folded near the bed just in case. It becomes a quiet act of preparation, like setting the alarm or fluffing the pillow. So why don't more doctors talk about this? The answer is simple. It's not a prescription. It's not a product. It's a movement, one that's passed through word of mouth or quietly taught in rehab centers. But that doesn't make it any less powerful. If you're someone you love suffers from nighttime foot cramps, try this tonight. Have that towel ready. Practice the movement a few times during the day so it feels natural. And remember, you are not powerless in the face of cramp. Your body already has the answer. It just needs a little guidance. Coming up next, we'll talk about one of the biggest silent causes of cramps in seniors, dehydration. You may be surprised to learn how the timing and type of fluids you drink can make a world of difference, especially while you sleep. It's a simple act, taking a sip of water. And yet, for many older adults, this small habit holds far more power than most realize, especially when it comes to those frustrating, painful foot cramps that strike in the middle of the night. What's the connection? In one word, hydration. Let's start with something few people know. Dehydration doesn't always feel like thirst. In fact, as we age, the body's natural thirst mechanism becomes less reliable. By the time someone feels thirsty, their cells may have already been running low on water for hours. And for older adults, even mild dehydration can quietly trigger muscle cramps, especially at night. Why night? Because during sleep, the body is still hard at work. Muscles repair themselves. The heart slows. The kidneys filter. All of this requires proper hydration. But if the body is short on fluids, muscles can become irritable, prone to misfiring. And that includes the small muscles in the feet and calves. Many seniors wake up with cramps and never realize their water levels are part of the problem. It's not just about drinking more, it's about drinking smart. And timing matters. Let's take a closer look at what happens. Imagine a 70-year-old named Doris from Arizona. She drinks coffee with breakfast, maybe a soda at lunch, and a glass of wine with dinner. By 9 p.m., she feels fine. But during the night, without realizing it, her body loses fluids through breathing, sweating, and natural kidney function. When her legs stretch out during sleep, that slight shift in muscle tension, combined with low hydration, triggers a cramp. She jolts awake in pain, and it happens again the next night. Now, imagine Doris changes one thing. At 8:30 p.m., she sips a small glass of warm water or a light herbal tea with electrolytes. Nothing heavy, not too close to bedtime, just enough to gently hydrate her system without causing her to wake up to use the bathroom. Within a week, she notices something. The cramps stop coming. Her sleep improves. Her mornings are calmer. This isn't magic. It's simple physiology. Muscles are like rubber bands. They need water to stay stretchy and responsive. Without enough fluid, they become tight, brittle, and prone to spasms. This is even more true for older muscles, which already lose elasticity over time. Now, not all fluids are equal. Water is essential, of course. But what's often forgotten is the role of electrolytes, the minerals that help muscles contract and relax properly. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium. These are the building blocks of healthy muscle function. Without them, drinking plain water isn't always enough. For older adults, especially those on certain medications like diuretics or blood pressure pills, electrolyte imbalances are common. These medications, while necessary, can flush out not only fluids but also vital minerals. And that's a hidden risk for cramps. That's why many nutritionists now recommend sipping fluids with a pinch of sea salt or trying natural drinks like coconut water or diluted fruit juice in the evening. Some even suggest a bedtime mix: half a cup of warm water, a squeeze of lemon, and a tiny sprinkle of Himalayan salt. Just enough to restore balance. No sugar, no caffeine, just support for tired muscles. Of course, hydration during the day matters too. A good rule? Start in the morning and sip slowly throughout the day. Not in gulps, not all at once. Just steady hydration. Keep a glass nearby. Set reminders if needed. Many seniors find that using a special water bottle marked with hours of the day helps them stay on track. And if nighttime trips to the bathroom are a concern, and for many, they are, just adjust the timing. Drink more earlier in the day and taper off after dinner. But don't skip that evening sip altogether. It may be the quiet hero that prevents a 2 a.m. wake-up call. Let's not forget the emotional side of hydration either. A warm cup of chamomile tea in the evening can become a soothing ritual. It signals the body to wind down. It adds calm. It gives comfort. And when infused with magnesium or gentle herbs, it nourishes the nervous system too. Foot cramps may seem like a small annoyance, but for older adults, they can chip away at peace of mind. They interrupt sleep. They cause anxiety. They lead to fear of going to bed. But with one small shift, a mindful approach to hydration, so much can change. Hydration isn't just about water. It's about how we care for our muscles, our nerves, and our rest. It's about respecting what the body quietly needs as it ages. And it's about reclaiming the quiet power to sleep through the night without fear of pain. So tonight, pour a small glass. Sip it slowly. Think of it not as a chore, but as a gift, a gentle message to your body. I see you. I care. Let's rest easy. In the next part, we'll explore something most people overlook: how the medications in your cabinet might be working against your muscles, even while you sleep. For many older adults, taking medications is simply a part of daily life. A pill for blood pressure, another for cholesterol, perhaps one for sleep or anxiety. And for millions of seniors, these medications are truly life-saving. But what most people don't know is that some of the most commonly prescribed drugs in America may also have a surprising side effect, one that strikes late at night, deep in the legs and feet: painful cramps. It's a hidden link that often goes unnoticed. A person wakes up in agony, clutching their foot or calf, blaming it on getting older or not stretching enough. What they don't realize is that the little white pill they swallowed after dinner might be playing a part. Let's break it down gently and clearly. Many medications that are routinely prescribed to people over 60 can quietly alter how the body handles minerals, especially sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. These minerals are the foundation of healthy muscle function. When they're out of balance, even slightly, the muscles in your feet and legs can become twitchy, tight, and prone to cramping. One of the biggest culprits? Diuretics. Also known as water pills, these medications are commonly prescribed for high blood pressure or heart conditions. They help the body shed excess fluid, but in doing so, they can also flush out essential minerals. That's why many people who take diuretics experience more leg cramps, especially at night when the body is resting and fluid levels shift. Take, for example, Richard from Indiana. At 72, he was managing his blood pressure well, thanks to a diuretic his doctor prescribed. But every night, like clockwork, he'd wake up with a sharp, stabbing cramp in his left foot. He tried stretching. He bought new shoes. Nothing helped, until his doctor reviewed his medications and suggested testing his potassium and magnesium levels. Sure enough, both were low. With a small adjustment and a gentle supplement, his cramps nearly vanished within a week. Then there's statins, which are used to lower cholesterol. These are another silent trigger. For some people, statins can cause muscle soreness or weakness. In older adults, this sometimes shows up as nighttime cramps. It doesn't happen to everyone, but it's common enough that doctors keep an eye on it, especially when patients complain about leg pain during the night. Even asthma medications, certain antidepressants, and sleep aids can interfere with how nerves and muscles communicate. Some relax the nervous system, others tighten it. The result? Mixed signals and muscles that contract when they shouldn't. But here's the good news. Just because a medication may contribute to cramps doesn't mean you have to suffer. Knowledge is power, and open communication with a doctor or pharmacist can make a big difference. The key is not to stop taking medications on your own. That can be dangerous. Instead, consider this. If nighttime foot cramps have become a pattern, and you're on prescription medications, it's worth asking your healthcare provider a simple question. Could my meds be affecting my muscles? Many doctors today are becoming more aware of this connection. They may suggest a blood test to check your electrolyte levels, or they might adjust your dosage slightly. Sometimes, they'll recommend drinking an electrolyte-rich beverage before bed. Other times, they'll review whether a different medication might work better for your body. For example, some patients who take diuretics may benefit from a potassium-sparing version, one that helps the body hold on to vital minerals. Others may be advised to take a gentle magnesium supplement, often in the form of magnesium glycinate or citrate, which is easier on the stomach. It's also worth remembering that over-the-counter medications can play a role too. Common antacids like Tums or Rolaids, when taken regularly, can affect calcium and magnesium balance. So can laxatives and even high-dose vitamin supplements. When you're managing multiple pills, it's easy to overlook how they interact, but your muscles feel the effects. That's why keeping a medication log can be a valuable tool. It doesn't need to be complicated. Just a small notebook or a note on your phone that lists what you take, when you take it, and any symptoms you notice. Over time, patterns may emerge, and those patterns can guide you and your healthcare provider to a solution. And don't underestimate the emotional toll of unexplained foot cramps. For many seniors, they create anxiety around sleep. They cause fear of moving during the night. They lead to restless legs and tired mornings. But when people learn that their medications may be contributing, it brings a deep sense of relief, because now there's something they can do about it. Imagine someone like Ellen, 68, from South Carolina. She'd lived with nightly cramps for over a year. Then one day, her daughter mentioned that it might be her medication. Together, they talked to her doctor. A small switch, plus a recommendation to drink a glass of coconut water in the evening, changed everything. For the first time in months, Ellen slept through the night without pain. Her smile the next morning said it all. At the end of the day, every medication is a tool, and like any tool, it needs to be used wisely. The goal is not to fear prescriptions, but to work with them thoughtfully. Your body speaks to you, even at night. Listen closely, and if those cramps persist, don't shrug them off. They may be your body's quiet way of asking for balance, support, or a gentle adjustment to what you're taking. In the next section, we'll go deeper into the world of minerals and reveal the specific ones that matter most when it comes to calming nighttime cramps fast. If the human body were an orchestra, muscles would be the strings, powerful, sensitive, and ready to perform at a moment's notice. But just like strings need tuning, muscles need balance. And behind the scenes, 3 silent conductors keep everything in harmony: magnesium, potassium, and calcium. They're the mineral trio that makes every step, stretch, and sleep possible. When they fall out of rhythm, the result is often sudden, sharp, and unforgettable, those painful nighttime foot cramps that seem to come out of nowhere. For older adults, this trio becomes even more important. With age, the body's ability to absorb, retain, and regulate these essential minerals begins to shift. Even those who eat well may find their levels slowly dropping. Add in medications, dehydration, or a change in kidney function, and what once was balanced can quietly slip off course. And the first sign is often felt in the feet. Let's begin with magnesium, often called the relaxation mineral. Magnesium is responsible for over 300 biochemical processes in the body, and one of its biggest jobs is to help muscles relax after they contract. Without enough magnesium, muscles become excitable and tight. At night, when the nervous system slows down, magnesium is especially critical. Low levels can cause legs and feet to cramp without warning, disrupting sleep and causing real distress. Imagine Nancy, age 66, from Minnesota. She's active, walks daily, and eats a balanced diet. Yet for months, she battled with toe cramps that made her afraid to even stretch in bed. Her doctor ordered a blood test. It showed slightly low magnesium. With a simple supplement, magnesium glycinate, which is gentle on digestion, and an evening habit of warm Epsom salt foot soaks, her cramps eased significantly within 10 days. Next is potassium, the mineral that helps send electrical signals throughout the body. Every heartbeat, every nerve twitch, every muscle contraction depends on potassium. It helps control the balance of fluids in and around muscle cells. When potassium drops too low, nerves fire off irregular messages, and muscles can seize up in painful spasms. Potassium can be lost quickly through sweating, diuretics, or simply not getting enough in the diet. Many older adults unintentionally reduce potassium-rich foods, like bananas, sweet potatoes, or spinach, when changing diets or managing kidney concerns. But that small shift can create an imbalance that shows up in the form of foot cramps, especially in the early hours of the morning. Then there's calcium, a name most seniors recognize for its role in bone health. But calcium also plays a powerful role in muscle movement. It triggers muscle contraction, and it works in tandem with magnesium. Think of calcium as the on switch and magnesium as the off. If calcium is low, muscles may struggle to contract smoothly. If it's too high without enough magnesium, muscles can stay too tense, making cramps more likely. The balance between these three minerals is delicate. They don't work in isolation. They support one another. Too much calcium without magnesium can cause stiffness. Too little potassium can disrupt how magnesium is used. That's why managing them together, not just individually, is so important. So, how can seniors make sure they're getting the right balance? It starts with awareness and small, daily habits. First, through food. Nature has already packed many delicious and easy-to-eat sources of these minerals into everyday favorites. For magnesium, almonds, pumpkin seeds, black beans, spinach, and dark chocolate. For potassium, bananas, oranges, avocados, potatoes, and yogurt. For calcium, dairy products, leafy greens like kale, and fortified plant milks. These aren't exotic foods. Most are affordable and available in any grocery store across the country. But it's not just about eating them once. It's about weaving them into meals consistently. A banana with breakfast, a handful of almonds in the afternoon, a warm glass of milk before bed. Still, for some older adults, food alone may not be enough. That's where gentle supplementation comes in, always under the guidance of a healthcare provider. Many seniors find that a small magnesium supplement in the evening helps reduce leg tension. Others might benefit from potassium-rich electrolyte drinks, especially after walking or on hot days. Calcium is often checked in routine blood work, but it's still wise to discuss intake, especially for women over 65. Hydration also plays a starring role. Minerals travel through the body in fluids, mostly water. Without enough water, these minerals can't reach the muscles that need them. That's why many doctors recommend older adults sip water regularly throughout the day and avoid going to bed dehydrated. A small glass of water before bedtime, perhaps with a pinch of sea salt or a slice of lemon, can make a surprising difference. There's also an emotional side to this. Many older adults feel frustrated by cramps. They stretch, they walk, they eat well. So why the pain? Knowing that a hidden mineral imbalance might be the reason brings clarity and hope. It means the problem isn't just old age. It's something real, something understandable, and, most importantly, something that can often be helped. Take the story of Joe, 74, from Oregon. A former carpenter, Joe was used to being on his feet, but retirement brought more time indoors and less water and fewer vegetables. When cramps started waking him at 3 a.m., he was confused and discouraged. His daughter suggested he try a magnesium spray before bed and a banana smoothie for breakfast. Within a week, he noticed fewer cramps. A month later, they were nearly gone. His smile returned, and so did his walks around the block. In short, magnesium, potassium, and calcium may be invisible, but their effects are felt every single day. They are the quiet protectors of sleep, comfort, and movement. For anyone over 60 dealing with foot cramps, it's worth taking a closer look at these minerals, not with fear, but with curiosity and care. Because the body never stops communicating, it just needs us to listen more closely. And sometimes, the solution to pain is as simple as a warm bowl of greens, a glass of water, and a bit of patience. In the next section, we'll explore something just as powerful, yet often overlooked: how dehydration, especially subtle, chronic dehydration in older adults, can silently trigger nighttime foot cramps, and what you can do to rehydrate wisely, gently, and effectively. At first glance, dehydration might seem like a summer problem, something that happens after a long walk in the heat or forgetting to drink water on a busy day. But for older adults, dehydration is a quiet, year-round issue that often goes unnoticed. And its connection to foot cramps, especially at night, is stronger than most people realize. In fact, many seniors who struggle with nighttime cramps don't realize they may be mildly dehydrated most of the time. It's not always about drinking too little water in a day. It's about how the aging body processes, holds, and uses that water. And when muscles don't have enough fluid to function properly, they tighten, seize, and cramp, especially during rest. Let's take a closer look at what changes in the body after 60. As people age, the sense of thirst naturally decreases. The brain doesn't send thirst signals as clearly or urgently as it used to. So even when the body needs fluid, an older adult may not feel thirsty. That's one reason many seniors drink less water without realizing it. On top of that, the kidneys become less efficient over time. They don't concentrate urine as well, meaning more fluid is lost even during regular bathroom visits. Combine this with common medications, like diuretics for blood pressure or laxatives for constipation, and the body can quietly lose precious water and electrolytes every single day. This is exactly what happened to Harold, age 71, from Michigan. He took a mild water pill for his heart, walked daily, and thought he was drinking enough. But almost every night, he woke up around 2 a.m. with cramping in his toes or calves. After speaking with his doctor and a dietitian, he realized he was only drinking about 4 cups of liquid per day, far less than his body needed. With a few small adjustments, including herbal tea in the evening and a hydrating soup at lunch, the cramps faded within weeks. So how exactly does dehydration lead cramps? Muscles rely on fluid to move. Every muscle fiber contracts and releases through electrical signals, and those signals need water and minerals to flow smoothly. When cells dry out, they become irritable, firing off spasms instead of smooth movements. At night, when the body is lying still and blood circulation slows slightly, even mild dehydration can reveal itself through sharp cramps, especially in the feet and legs. What's more, dehydration makes it harder for the body to transport magnesium, potassium, and calcium to the muscles. So even if someone eats enough of these minerals, without water to carry them, they may not reach the places that need them most. The good news is that hydration is one of the simplest things to adjust. But for seniors, it's not just about chugging water. It's about drinking smartly, consistently, and gently throughout the day. Let's explore a few strategies that have worked for older adults across the U.S. Start the day with water. After a night of sleep, the body is naturally a bit dehydrated. A small glass of warm water in the morning, perhaps with a squeeze of lemon, helps wake up the digestion and rehydrate gently. Sip, don't gulp. Large amounts of water at once can overwhelm the kidneys. Instead, sipping throughout the day helps the body absorb and use water more effectively. A favorite tip: keep a small glass or bottle nearby, and aim to take a few sips every 30 to 60 minutes. Add flavor or temperature. Many seniors find plain water boring. Try herbal teas, cucumber slices, or a splash of fruit juice. Others enjoy warm broths or clear soups in the afternoon, which hydrate while nourishing. Include hydrating foods, fruits like watermelon, oranges, and grapes, or vegetables like cucumbers and tomatoes can add meaningful hydration. Yogurt, oatmeal, and even smoothies can count toward daily fluid intake. Watch the color of urine. A simple, natural clue. Pale yellow usually means good hydration. Darker or strong-smelling urine often signals that the body needs more fluid. Limit dehydrating drinks. While morning coffee is fine for most, too much caffeine or alcohol can dry the body out. It's helpful to drink water alongside these beverages or limit their quantity later in the day. Create hydration routines. Some older adults link water intake to daily habits, like drinking a glass before each meal, after brushing teeth, or during commercial breaks when watching TV. These small rituals make a big difference over time. Let's not forget that emotions and routines also play a role. Many seniors were raised in times when drinking water wasn't emphasized the way it is today, or they may avoid water in the evening for fear of needing to use the restroom overnight. These are real concerns, and they deserve practical, respectful solutions. Take Betty, 68, from North Carolina. She used to avoid drinking anything after 7 p.m. because she was afraid of falling during nighttime bathroom trips. But with her daughter's help, she added a night light and a sturdy grab bar near the toilet. Then, she began sipping a small herbal tea around 8 p.m., just enough to stay hydrated, not overwhelmed. Her foot cramps, which used to strike just before dawn, almost completely disappeared. The message is clear. Hydration isn't just about water. It's about understanding how aging changes the body, recognizing hidden dehydration, and finding smart, gentle ways to nourish the body throughout the day. More importantly, it's about reclaiming comfort. Nighttime should be a time of rest, not of waking up in pain. And something as simple as a glass of water, a bowl of soup, or a juicy piece of fruit can help bring back that peace. So, if foot cramps have been showing up in the middle of the night, it may not be a mystery. It may be your body quietly asking for more fluid. And the answer might be sitting right there on the kitchen counter. In the next section, we'll explore a powerful shift in perspective. How foot position, posture, and nighttime habits might be silently setting the stage for cramps, and what you could do to fix it before bedtime tonight. It's easy to blame aging muscles or low minerals for nighttime foot cramps. And while those are common causes, there's one surprising factor that many seniors overlook: the way their feet rest during the day and especially at night. It turns out that posture, both while standing and while sleeping, can quietly set the stage for those painful midnight spasms. Let's begin with a simple truth. The human foot is a complex structure. Each foot contains 26 bones, over 30 joints, and more than 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments. That's a lot of moving parts. And when just one area is strained, tight, or positioned awkwardly for long periods, it can trigger a domino effect, leading to cramping muscles and aching arches. For older adults, posture matters even more. That's because with age, the soft tissues in the feet and legs tend to stiffen. Circulation may decrease, and the body becomes less forgiving of unnatural angles or static positions. This makes something as simple as foot placement during sleep or while watching TV a hidden trigger for cramps. Take the case of Eleanor, 74, from Oregon. She used to fall asleep with her feet pointed down, toes stretched out like a ballerina. She never gave it much thought until she began waking up several nights a week with painful cramps in her arches and calves. A physical therapist noticed the pattern and gently explained that this foot position, called plantar flexion, tightens the muscles in the back of the leg and foot. It keeps them shortened for hours. Then, when Eleanor shifted or flexed her foot during sleep, those tight muscles spasmed. Once she began sleeping with her feet in a more neutral position, using a small pillow under her ankles and a soft brace to keep her toes from pointing downward, the cramps eased dramatically. This is more common than many realize. When someone lies in bed or reclines in a chair for long periods with their feet angled downward or their toes pointed, certain muscle groups, especially the calves and soles, can become chronically tense. Over time, this tension builds, And when blood flow dips slightly during rest, those tight muscles don't get the oxygen and nutrients they need. The result? A sudden, sharp cramp. But foot position during sleep isn't the only issue. Daily posture, especially poor walking mechanics or prolonged sitting, also plays a role. Many older adults unknowingly walk with improper alignment. This can happen for many reasons: past injuries, stiff joints, worn-out shoes, or even years of habitual patterns. Over time, this creates imbalance in the leg and foot muscles. Some get overworked, others underused. Tightness and strain develop, and by the time someone settles into bed, their muscles are primed for cramping. That's what happened to Charles, 69, a retired truck driver from Kentucky. Years of sitting for long stretches and driving with his right foot had shortened his calf muscles. He also tended to sit with his toes tucked under his chair. When he began experiencing nightly foot cramps, his doctor recommended simple stretches twice a day and advised changing how he sat. Within 3 weeks, the cramps subsided, and his walking felt more balanced. So, what can seniors do to protect their posture and foot position and reduce the risk of cramps? Here are practical, proven tips used by older adults across the country. Support neutral foot position during sleep. Use a small towel roll or foam wedge under the ankles to prevent the feet from flopping forward. Some seniors benefit from a night splint, a gentle brace that keeps the foot at a 90-degree angle while sleeping. Avoid toe pointing when resting. Whether lying on the couch or in bed, avoid extending the toes for long periods. Try keeping the feet slightly flexed or alternate positions to keep muscles relaxed. Elevate the feet briefly each day. Raising the feet for 10 to 15 minutes can help improve circulation and reduce swelling, which may ease nighttime tension. Stretch key muscle groups. Gentle stretches for the calves, hamstrings, and arches before bed can help release tightness. A simple stretch, standing a few feet from the wall, placing hands on the wall, and stepping one foot back with the heel flat on the floor for a 30-second hold. Choose supportive footwear, worn-out shoes, slippers without arch support, or bare feet on hard floors can strain muscles. Many seniors find relief simply by switching to supportive sneakers or orthopedic slippers during the day. Limit long periods of sitting with knees bent. Prolonged sitting, especially in tight spaces or soft chairs, can lead to tight calf muscles. Encourage standing or walking breaks every hour. Explore physical therapy if needed. A licensed physical therapist can assess gait and muscle imbalances and create a custom plan to reduce strain and improve foot alignment. It's worth remembering that our posture is often shaped by decades of habits. And while it may take time to change those patterns, the reward is well worth it. Fewer cramps, better sleep, and more comfort in daily movement. Some seniors worry that posture correction is too complicated or meant for younger people. But that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, the smallest change, like adjusting how the feet rest in bed, can have a big ripple effect. For example, Mary, 72, from Florida, shared that simply adding a folded towel under her knees helped her hips and feet relax at night. That small shift relieved the pressure in her lower legs and led to the first cramp-free sleep she'd had in months. It's these subtle physical patterns, foot angle, joint position, muscle balance, that often hold the hidden key to relief. And once older adults become aware of them, they can gently experiment, find what works, and reclaim peaceful nights. In the end, the body speaks. And sometimes foot cramps are a way of saying something's out of place. When we listen with patience and respond with small, respectful adjustments, the body often responds with gratitude in the form of pain-free rest. In the next section, we'll explore an emotional but powerful piece of the puzzle: how stress, anxiety, and even unresolved emotions can tense the body and trigger foot cramps, and how calming the nervous system may be the most overlooked relief strategy of all. There's a quiet truth that many people don't often speak aloud. Stress doesn't just live in the mind, it settles deep in the body. For older adults especially, emotional tension often goes unnoticed, but the body always remembers. And in surprising ways, it can speak through physical symptoms like headaches, tight shoulders, upset stomachs, and yes, even foot cramps. While it might sound unusual at first, there's a growing body of scientific and medical evidence showing a strong connection between stress and muscle cramps. When someone feels anxious, worried, or overwhelmed, the nervous system reacts. Muscles tighten, breathing becomes shallow, blood vessels constrict, and if this tension becomes chronic, it can lead to painful spasms, especially in vulnerable areas like the feet and legs. For seniors who have lived through decades of life's ups and downs, this connection is deeply personal. Some may carry hidden grief, loneliness, or unspoken fears about health and aging. Others may feel anxious about family, finances, or simply losing independence. These feelings, though often brushed aside, don't disappear. They settle quietly into the body. Take the story of George, 78, from Michigan. After his wife passed away, he found himself waking up at night not just from dreams, but from sudden, stabbing foot cramps. His doctor first suggested magnesium supplements, which helped a little, but nothing really worked until his granddaughter invited him to join a local senior meditation group. At first, George was skeptical, but after a few weeks of gentle breathing, soft music, and sharing with others, something shifted. The cramps became less frequent. His sleep deepened. He later said, "I didn't realize how tightly I'd been holding everything in until I finally let go." This mind-body connection is real. When the nervous system is constantly in a state of alert, also known as fight or flight, it sends signals to the muscles to stay ready, prepared, on edge. That's helpful in a moment of danger, but not for daily life, and certainly not for restful sleep. Over time, this low-grade tension can create tight, hypersensitive muscles, just waiting for a slight movement to cramp. Even something as simple as nighttime worry, ruminating about tomorrow's doctor appointment, or replaying a past conversation can cause shallow breathing and subtle muscle tightening. For some, the calves become tight. For others, it's the arches or toes. And because older adults often have decreased circulation and slower muscle recovery, that tension is more likely to turn into a cramp. But there's good news. Just as stress can trigger cramps, calming the nervous system can help prevent them. One of the most powerful ways to do this is through intentional relaxation techniques. Small, simple practices that signal the body, it's safe now, you can let go. Here are a few that older adults across the U.S. have found helpful. Deep belly breathing. Lying in bed, place one hand on the stomach. Breathe in slowly through the nose, letting the belly rise. Exhale gently through the mouth. Repeat for 3 to 5 minutes. This helps lower stress hormones and relax muscles. Progressive muscle relaxation. Starting at the feet, gently tense, and then relax each muscle group. Feet, calves, thighs, hands, arms, shoulders, moving upward. This releases hidden tension and promotes body awareness. Gratitude journaling. Before bed, write down 3 small things from the day that brought joy, peace, or comfort. This shifts the mind from worry to calm, which reduces physical tension. Gentle evening walks. A short stroll after dinner can reduce anxiety, improve circulation, and prepare the body for restful sleep. Many seniors find that a 10-minute walk clears both the mind and the legs. Listening to calming music. Soft instrumental music or nature sounds can quiet the mind and soothe the body. Playing this in the background during bedtime routine helps signal the body that it's time to relax. Connecting with loved ones. A simple phone call or short chat with a neighbor can relieve emotional tension and foster a sense of belonging, which helps reduce physical stress. One powerful but often overlooked aspect is self-compassion. Many older adults grew up in generations that valued toughness, resilience, and keeping feelings to oneself. While those qualities are admirable, they can also lead to carrying stress silently. Learning to speak kindly to oneself, especially during moments of struggle, can reduce internal pressure and, over time, relieve muscle tension. Consider Martha, 70, from Georgia. After retiring, she felt lost. Her identity had been tied to her work for decades. She began experiencing foot cramps, especially at night. Her doctor ruled out deficiencies, circulation problems, and medication side effects. Finally, her son suggested a mindfulness program offered by a nearby community center. There, she learned to pause, breathe, and talk to herself gently. Over time, she realized that much of her tension came from fear of not being useful anymore. Letting go of that fear, she said, was like taking off a heavy coat. And with it, the cramps began to fade. What's important to understand is that none of these techniques require perfection. The goal isn't to eliminate all stress. It's to soften it, to release just enough tension that the body no longer needs to cry out in pain. Even trying one small practice, like taking a few deep breaths before bed, can begin the healing process. Of course, not all cramps are stress-related, but when other causes have been ruled out, like dehydration, poor circulation, or mineral imbalance, it's worth exploring the emotional side. Because the body and mind are never truly separate. What affects one affects the other. In an older age, when the pace of life changes and emotions surface in new ways, this connection becomes even more important. So if foot cramps have been interrupting sleep or limiting comfort, it may be time to ask a gentle question. Is there something I'm holding on to emotionally? Is my body asking for more kindness, more rest, or more peace? Sometimes the answer comes not in words, but in stillness, in a quiet evening walk, a deep breath, or a whispered prayer before sleep. And sometimes it comes in the form of a body that finally, mercifully lets go of the pain. In our final part, we'll pull together everything we've learned. And we'll discover a simple yet powerful action older adults can take today to begin walking, literally and figuratively, toward freedom from foot cramps, one gentle step at a time. After everything shared, from hydration to minerals, from nighttime habits to stress relief, one message stands clear. Foot cramps aren't just a small inconvenience. They are messengers, signals from the body that something needs care, attention, or even just a little kindness. And for seniors, especially those over 60, these messages matter more than ever. Because quality of life in these years isn't just about avoiding illness. It's about living each day with comfort, grace, and confidence. So the question becomes, where does someone begin? The truth is, lasting change often starts not with a big transformation, but with one simple action. Something gentle enough to begin tonight, yet powerful enough to shift the body's rhythm over time. And when it comes to stopping foot cramps, that action is building a calming, nourishing nighttime ritual. Let's look at what such a ritual might look like, step by step, designed specifically for older adults who want to ease tension, improve sleep, and wake up without those painful spasms in their feet. Step 1. A warming foot soak, 10 to 15 minutes. Start by soaking the feet in warm water, ideally with a handful of Epsom salts. This serves several purposes. The heat relaxes the muscles and improves circulation. The magnesium in Epsom salts gets absorbed through the skin, helping replenish what the body may be lacking. Add a few drops of lavender essential oil if desired. Lavender is known to reduce stress and help sleep. Many seniors find this step not only soothing, but deeply comforting, almost like returning to a familiar childhood ritual. It says to the body, you're safe. You're cared for. Step 2. Gentle stretching, 5 to 7 minutes. After drying the feet, spend a few minutes doing slow, controlled stretches. Focus on the calves, the Achilles tendon, and the arches of the feet. One effective stretch. Sit in a sturdy chair, cross one ankle over the opposite knee, and gently pull the toes back toward you. Another. While standing with hands on the wall, step one leg behind and press the heel down, stretching the calf. These movements help lengthen tight muscle fibers and reduce the risk of cramps during sleep. Step 3. Evening hydration with electrolytes, 1 glass. Pour a glass of water, not too cold, and add a pinch of sea salt or a dash of natural electrolyte powder. This helps maintain fluid balance overnight. Older adults often reduce water intake in the evening to avoid nighttime bathroom trips, but a small, well-balanced glass can make all the difference. The key is quality over quantity. Step 4. Calming the mind, 10 minutes. Take a few minutes to breathe. This doesn't require a fancy meditation app or years of experience. Just sit quietly, place one hand over the heart, and inhale slowly. Count to 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4. Do this for 5 rounds. This activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest part of the brain that helps muscles release tension. For those who prefer prayer or soft music, that works too. The method doesn't matter. The piece does. Step 5, magnesium and potassium check-in. If a doctor has approved, consider adding a small magnesium supplement after dinner, preferably magnesium glycinate, which is gentle on the stomach and known to help with muscle relaxation. Also, look at daily meals. Are there bananas, avocados, spinach, or sweet potatoes included? These foods are rich in potassium and help prevent imbalances that lead to cramps. Many seniors don't realize how subtle dietary shifts can create powerful results. It's not about overhauling everything. It's about nourishing the body with what it quietly needs. Step 6, proper foot position during sleep. Try sleeping with a small pillow under the calves or between the knees. This helps align the spine and reduce pressure on the lower limbs. Pointing the toes slightly upward instead of allowing them to flop downward can prevent overnight cramping. Some seniors find that light compression socks, not tight ones, help circulation and keep the muscles warm during colder nights. Step 7. Create a cramps journal. This step is simple but insightful. Keep a small notebook by the bedside. Each morning, write down, did a cramp happen? What time? Which foot? What did I eat or drink yesterday? Did I feel stressed? Over time, this journal becomes a personalized map, a way to notice patterns, triggers, and successes. Many older adults are surprised by what they discover about their own bodies just by observing quietly, consistently. Now, it's important to say this clearly. No single action guarantees instant relief. But together, these small, caring steps form a powerful approach, one that honors both body and mind. It's not about chasing youth. It's about protecting comfort and reclaiming restful sleep step by step. Let's return to the big picture. The journey through foot cramps is more than a physical experience. It's emotional, relational, and deeply personal. It's the grandmother who wants to walk freely through her garden, the grandfather who hopes to attend his grandson's baseball game without fear of seizing pain, the widow who simply wants to get through the night without waking in agony. These are real lives, real hopes, and real moments that matter. By recognizing this pain as a call for deeper care, not just a nuisance, we take a powerful stand for the dignity and well-being of aging. We say to every senior, you deserve comfort, you deserve rest, you deserve to move through each day without fear of pain. So tonight, before turning out the light, take just one step from the plan above. Choose the one that feels most manageable. Maybe it's the foot soak. Maybe it's the gentle breathing. Maybe it's drinking that one glass of mineral-rich water. And then simply notice how the body responds when treated with kindness. Notice how the nights slowly become softer. Notice how hope quietly returns, not in loud declarations, but in quiet mornings without cramping. Because even in older age, healing is still possible, and a full, joyful life is still within reach. So take that small step tonight. And remember, aging may bring changes, but also brings wisdom, courage, and strength. A comfortable life is not behind you. It's still ahead. One small step at a time. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. Truly, your presence here means more than words can say. If you made it this far, it shows how deeply you care about your health and your well-being. That's something to be proud of. Remember, no matter your age, it's never too late to feel better, sleep better, and live better. Even the smallest change, just one glass of water, one stretch, one peaceful breath, can open the door to a more comfortable, joyful life. You deserve that. If this video gave you hope, comfort, or even just one helpful tip, we'd be so grateful if you could support us. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, leave a comment below. Share your thoughts, your story, or what part of this video spoke to you the most. Have you struggled with nighttime foot cramps? What's helped you? We'd love to hear from you. And your comment might be exactly what someone else needs to feel less alone. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep walking this journey together. From our hearts to yours, thank you again. Take care, and may tonight be the beginning of many peaceful, cramp-free nights ahead.